Sun, moon, stars,
It's a dark night, 2-0. So, you see the beacon of light through that black hole? Reading signs and moons, and of course, I have to welcome back all my stars. We're going to go ahead and get into channeling this energy. Now, for those that are wondering why this snow white energy is present here in the center of the table, this is because this is a card that fell out without my knowledge from a prior reading. Now, if you've seen my prior reading, which entailed a viewer donation, what this is getting to is an extension of that reading. However, because the snow white energy is an indication of a mother figure that is older, what this is getting to is a third party's involvement. Now, you may say it's more than 3 parties, and you are correct. However, because this villain energy is associated with a mother figure that could possibly be a friend of your mother's or yours, and since this is the case, what this cut is revealing is a chosen one. However, because this is not the era of chosen ones that I'm intuiting, what this is getting to is you being scapegoated. Now, for some of you, you're seeing double number synchronicities. And what this is talking about is 33. Now, one of my prior readings, I talked about 33 degrees. However, for someone specific, they associate 33 degrees with an institution. And because of this reading is going to resonate different for all individuals involved, which entails all individuals in a certain energy. Now, if you feel like someone is a spiritual judge, what this is getting to is you being wrong. However, because I know that they have a hearing coming up, what is going to happen is an energy transference. And I want y'all to see I'm still holding these. Now, in regards to a tarot card reader, what this is talking about is you realizing that someone's seen my reading. However, because this is also associated with an adult child, what this is talking about is a 360-degree angle of all parties involved. Now, if you're familiar with any of my Destiny Swap readings, what this is talking about is someone already being aware that they attempted to do one, and because it was already done to you at birth, they weren't able to do so. Now, because a group of individuals don't know what they were chosen for, what this is going to reveal is some more confusing energy. However, what I also know to be true is a twin that is not necessarily your twin flame, however, they could be someone else's, is going to say that you appeared somewhere out of the blue. And this is because they are aware that you're into some form of craft. However, since someone's adult child is not believing that they are, what is going to take place is a Odyssey. Now, for some, this tower moment is associated with your craft. And for others, this is talking about a chosen ones. Now, if you can recall me saying someone was placed in a void, what this is talking about is someone realizing that they are indeed in one. However, they're not equipped to get out. And this is because they self-proclaim themselves to be something that they are not. Now, because I know an elder is watching someone spiral out of control, what this is going to reveal is Dalaman. Dalaman's energy is all over this reading. However, because there's a group of individuals that feel like every time they hear any underworld being, they can prepare themselves for an intimate encounter. And this is because they truly want to know what it is like to be with an underworld being. Now, if they feel like you are one, what is going to happen is they're going to attempt to bind you with candles or with tools. And because of this, someone involved in this is already aware that they've seen someone do it. However, they weren't aware at the time that they were binding them. Now, this is indeed talking about a hood celebrity. However, because they feel like you're not world known, what they're going to say is, you were somebody that was once in the conscious community, and because no one knew that you were a rapper, they didn't associate you with the music industry. And because of this conscious community energy is coming out. Now, what I'm also picking up is there's a merging taking place soon. However, because someone feels like a merging is talking about merging of all these universes spiritually, what is going to happen is they're going to be deeper into confusion. Now, you could be someone that is in your 70s, or your parents are, and because a Serpus energy is here, what this is talking about is a snake being revealed. However, because this Serpus is associated with Shakti, what is going to happen is the energies that feel like they spiritually bound you or your mother is going to disappear. And this is because the Serpus energy is not going to allow anything to penetrate any Shakti. Now, in regards to a brawl that took place with a sibling, what this is getting to is someone video recording your encounter. And because this is something that went viral, what they're going to say is everyone's seen you get knocked out. And this is because they feel like public humiliation is the way to go in regards to receiving your energy and pumping fear into someone else. Now, what I also know to be true is there's a certain universe that is associated with fear tactics. And because they feel like they can draw energy on your fear, they're going to say that you need to do something else. And because of this, the Serpis energy is present in their home. Now, the reason why Serpis is here, which he is an archangel, is because someone said all of the underworld beings, including the Hellraisers, are welcome here. And then they proceeded to leave out of their mother's home. Now, in regards to those that feel like tarot readings are DEVIL worship, what this is talking about is you not understanding that what you encountered in the past was indeed a betrayal that stemmed from a DEVIL, Asifi, which is someone that is under a contract with the devil. These are not the devil's minions. The devil is a upstanding, high-ranking archangel. So for those that feel like they can use that excuse to say that tarot shouldn't be watched, they also should think about their commandments and the life that they are currently leading. Because the minute someone says tarot is this and that and that and the third, what they do is going to come out in this reading. It has been done before and it's going to continue to be done, because the God never said that tarot readings were unlawful or that it goes against any type of commandment. Where that came from was judges, and these particular judges wanted to push a doctrine that is very popular amongst all religions today. And because of this, what we're going to say is, if you are indeed a devout Christian, you shouldn't be looking at astrology readings, shooting dice, drinking, smoking, or partying, because you shouldn't cast stones when you indeed yourself are the sinner. Now, what I also know to be true is, because someone felt out of control, they had to leave an environment. And when they left this environment, they came in. Now, they being the Popo. Now, for you particularly, since you are the one that was left with all the bills, what this is talking about is your participation in an upheaval that started at the beginning of this paradigm shift. Now, what we know to be true is you are indeed the one that is intertwined with a hood celebrity. However, because people don't know who you are, they're going to say that it is someone else. Although I know that this energy is a collective energy, what this is talking about is in addition to someone's karma. Now, if you know of that saying, idle hands are the devil's workshop, what this is talking about is that being the case. However, because we know that the devil is allocated to a certain group of demons, we're going to say that if you feel like the devil is something that you should not follow, then why did you do those incantations? Why did you say, I'll sell my soul to the devil to become rich? Now, for those that are in the industry, this is something that you hear all the time. However, when it's time for someone to tell the truth, they refuse to do so. And this is why all of these things are coming out in regards to this individual. Now, I'm going to cut it here, and you can rest assured that there will be a part 2 behind the scenes. And that is it. What is your name? What is your name? Sergisias Ietha.